In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, shaping the world with beauty and purpose. Just as God created the world with care and intention, we at Fine Urban Real Estate Construction and Interiors strive to bring beauty and functionality to every space we touch. Our mission is to create environments that inspire, uplift, and bring joy to all those who inhabit them. Welcome to our Tatu City project. Today is a fantastic day because I am here to catch up on all the progress that has been done since the last time I was here. I really truly don't know what to expect when we go inside, but I think that's the beauty of this step because I am discovering as you're discovering, and you really get to experience step by step as this house comes to life. The sense of luxury on this property starts right at the gate, and if you had joined me last time, I got to show you our experts working hard to craft a gate that is fitting for such a futuristic home like this. So we're going to have a really beautiful gate right there. You can see in the driveway, we're going for this curvature, which I have to say is not an easy feat to accomplish. We have laid out the curbstone to kind of demarcate the areas where we intend to continue the Going Green initiative. So we want to include as much greenery as possible. So anywhere that you see red sand and soil, that means that is going to be purely greenery. To add on to the element of nature and feeling surrounded by natural features, we are going to be adding a water fountain right in the center over there. So when the client or their loved ones drives into the property, it truly feels like they have arrived home. So what you're looking at with the grass and the trees, that is the vision. We really want to create a lush landscape, so you can now imagine those types of trees and that type of grass and dotted around all around the perimeter wall. Now I want to take a full turn and now look at the structure itself. The impact of this house, just visually looking at it. There's so many details that I'm able to identify that makes this house one of a kind. Not only is it about the textures we've included or the excellent molding work, I can see the TNG, I can see the use of glass and stainless steel, and just the excellence of the shapes that have been created and the symmetry, and just the way you can almost see in the inside of the house with the beautiful lighting details. There's something that is just so captivating and feels so elegant and welcoming and palatial about this house. Not only do we have beautiful tall cylindrical pillars here, we have a wonderful texture and using the molding work at the base and at the tops of each one of these pillars. I always take the time to explain to you guys that it is not easy work. Not only do we have to see the vision and talk to the client and make them understand what exactly it will do for their property, we need to make sure that we have the most excellent materials. We need to make sure that we have the best experts so that each one of these pillars is done with so much care and precision. And this is why the word of the year for Fine Urban Real Estate Construction and Interiors is crafting. We're crafting experiences that are going to last a lifetime. Now, getting into the house, we can get a closer look at the TNG. I got to see our experts working on that to make sure that each and every floor does have an impact even from the outside. But even on this level, I am looking at the water features we're going to have on either side. So just the essence of nature is going to surround you. And I can't imagine something more welcoming than having the sounds of water literally guiding you into your mega mansion. And as we're approaching the walls, you can see the textures, and even now you can see the warmer tones that we have put. So let's step inside. My favorite part of walking into the house finally is the part where I get to see the impact that those windows we saw from the outside, the big ones, I want to see the impact that they're having on the inside. And immediately at the entrance, you can see one of our smaller windows is providing light for actually under the stairs. We can start feeling those impacts. Now I've stepped in and I have to say this tile is stunning. It looks like a yummy tile, but it just looks also very, very luxurious. These tones, these textures, they just add a sense of grandeur, and that is the type of entrance that you want your client to feel every time they walk into their home. Of course, you're also greeted by this grand staircase, but we will get into that more as I start heading up the stairs. For now, I want to see where these tiles would lead me, and now it's leading me into this door, which we will have the common bathroom. The tiles are not in yet, but there's some bathrooms in this house that have some really exciting tiles, but I can see another impact of the big window there. We have the lift well. Guys, remember I mentioned that a brushed gold is going to be a very prominent color in this house, and the lift is going to be the first place that you really get to experience that. As I continue to follow these yummy tiles, they're leading me this way, and also the lights are leading me this way. Something you'll notice throughout this property is that we have the lights in, and now you get to experience how each tiny corridor and hallway will be lit. So those lights guide you this way. This is going to be very well lit. And now we're entering the first bedroom on this floor, and I have to say the transition between the texture and color of the tile without compromising on the dimension is excellent. You always want something that feels really calming for the bedroom. So I'm really, really happy to see this. Now, these are the things that set my heart on fire. I love to see the things I've been talking about, like cabinetry. We can now see the materials that have been chosen, the textures, the colors, even the dimensions. This gives you an insight into the client's specific needs. If you find a client who has a lot of drawers, just know that that is something they ask for. If I see an area like this, I'm like, oh my goodness, which lovely girl is going to be using this room and is going to get to hang all their long dresses there. So this really is making me happy, and I can't wait to discover more of this throughout the house. Of course, we have a big window there, bringing light in. We have a little nook over here, which I can't wait to see how we make good use of that. But here we have the first bathroom, like ensuite bathroom. We have these bold gray tiles. They have a bit of a texture to them just to give a bit of traction. We can see that line on the floor demarcating where we're gonna have our shower right over here. We have our toilet bowl in. As always, it's all about quality. I love how the plumbing has been done so that the cistern is flush and hidden away. We'll have our sink right over there, but it is the marvelous tiles for me. It's always the tile selection. It just screams like, this is an expensive house. And you know what really helps that? Not only is it the colors and the dimensions and the finishes of the tile, it's also the installation. I always have to give praise to our experts, so I can see how the light is bouncing around because of all the wonderful things that have been done. I can see a nook right in the shower area where we will have shelving just to ensure that everything is easily reached. And of course, we have lighting placed strategically to ensure that each corner of this bathroom is well lit. Whether you're using it during the day or night, visibility is going to be really, really important. Now let's continue into the living room. Now there's two access areas. You have this one and then you have the other one. I love a double volume experience. It always makes me want to sing. But let's take a look at this space first. This is the first family room. At the moment, we're just using it for storage. But if you want to find out more about all the details and the thought processes that came into getting this room to where it is as I'm standing here, I did a video previously, so you can kind of really get into the thought processes of what our lead designer was thinking and why we went with certain designs for this room. So now we're gonna go into the living room of dreams. I love it. I love double volume. I'll always say, if you're building your dream home, there's no other way to go. Go for the double volume experience because it just makes your space feel so open. We had to make sure that we had stunning molding work because it is going to be a centerpiece of this living room. So we're going to make sure that the design does not just stop here. We're also going to implement something really eye-catching over there, and we're going to have our TV here. When I'm standing here and I'm looking up, I can notice that the gypsum here is relatively untouched, which is unusual considering most of the gypsum, if not all of it, is completely finished. But that is because we are saving that space for something really, really special. You'll also have an experience when you look straight up onto the ceiling, and that's why you should subscribe because we still have plenty to show you guys. Now we have these two huge openings. One is sliding doors and then up it's windows, bringing in tons of light so you don't even have to worry about that. But we're now going to step outside onto our first outdoor area. I would call this like, is it a balcony or like a veranda? But it's an excellent space where you could have some outdoor seating. It is completely, it's like attached to the living room. So you can open up those doors and truly have an indoor-outdoor experience. And the views are perfect for that. And as we go straight, you will notice that even the family room, it also has huge sliding doors that lead you to the outside, which then you can use to access the gazebo. This is like completely seamless from the family room to the living room into the dining room. So we're gonna step back in, and I talked about those two access areas into the living room. But if you wanna access the kitchen or the dining, we also have another opening here. For this one, we want to get really creative and do a partition that is not solid, so it will work as a display both for the living room and for the dining room. We've picked back up with that gorgeous milkshake delicious tile here, and it's running through and through because this is open plan. It's a good idea to keep things running through to give that illusion of an even bigger and more expansive space. We're going to start off with the kitchen. So we have the kitchen here. So this is going to be another space that cabinetry really plays an important part. We're going to have the island. We're also going to have another one just as a partition between the living room and the dining room. It's just always an excellent addition to a kitchen. It just elevates the space, gives you more storage space, gives you more counter space. And it's just the perfect way to create a definitive differentiation between the dining and the kitchen without adding a garish solid wall. So this is to be seen once we bring in the cabinetry. And if you remember from the last time I was here, I said this is going to be the pretty kitchen where you do your light cooking. And this is where you'll have your chef come in and really do the dirty work and do the heavy cooking. We still have a few lights to put in, and I'm now walking into the dining room. It is huge. We're going to have a sink right over there. The gypsum is relatively simple, but if you know us, we do love adding gorgeous chandeliers and lighting fixtures in spaces like this, just to give it a cozier feel and a more luxurious feel. So this is what I was talking about while we were outside. You could open this one, the one in the living room, and then the one in the family room. So you could easily just step out and have more of like an outdoor dining experience here. I just really love how this house has been designed to create as many opportunities as possible to just step out no matter which angle of the house you're at, because when you have lawns that are this gorgeous and views that are this well taken care of and well considered, why wouldn't you want to step out? We have so many trees dotted around. We have beautiful flowers. This place is going to feel like a secret paradise once everything is in bloom. So actually, while we are out here, here's another feature on the side of the house. So of course we have the structure that's going to be the guest house, which we will be getting into further down the line, but we have an underground tank right over here. All these trees that you're seeing are actually going to be planted here, so we're going to create like a hidden little section here. So that's why I said anywhere you see red sand, just know that we're going to be planting flowers and trees and grass and things like that. So we have the hidden water tank, but to make even more of a feature of this, we're going to have two huge sculptures. You know we love working and promoting local talent, so we're going to get some artisans to really craft some statues to be placed here to just make more of a moment. I think it's time to sing the praises of this backyard. So we have a couple of steps down here, very easily accessible from the dining, living room, or the family room, and you're able to access the staircase. I've always talked about how when you trust us with your property, we're always taking care of it, so that when we're handing it over to you, it's not like, oh no, you'll have to wait for the grass to come in. So you can see even before we finish the house, we've made sure that the grass is lush. We see the trees are already planted, and it really makes me happy to think that this is a house that is going to get more and more and more beautiful as the years go on, as the trees mature, and this house reaches its full vision. I am noticing we even have more steps from the front yard that you can access from the front of the house. You come down, you're being followed by this line of trees and plants and these beautiful purple flowers that are kind of guiding you to this little corner. We want this to be that pop of color. We have orange, we have pinks, we have reds, we have whites, we have yellows. This is going to be the flower garden, and we've accentuated it by the use of this beautiful butterfly sculpture. As we're continuing, you can see the perimeter wall. There's no inch of it where we haven't put in the plants and plant life, and it's leading me down to yet another sculpture. You guys know at this point that when it comes to taking care of nature and implementing it into our projects, it's a very, very important facet. In fact, for this property, 80% of its land is green. So this is absolutely stunning, and it's only going to get better with time. Now, looking at the house, we have yet another water feature similar to the ones we saw at the front of the house, and it's leading you to yet another set of sliding doors that you might have missed. Now, this house does have a basement. We are going to make this a games room. We're going to make it like a at-home spa, and we're also going to create storage for our clients. So now we're turning a space that feels daunting into something that's going to be fun and play to leisure and really bring people together. Now we can get into the gazebo. So you can see when we're designing gazebo, you do have to create that indoor-outdoor experience. You need that flexibility. You need people to be able to feel like I can just walk out and interact with nature. So you can see we have continued the use of those huge sliding glass doors, and the way it's been designed is such that you could essentially get rid of this entire wall. As always, I say spaces like this really come to life when it comes to the selections that our lead designer does. It's really going to be exquisite. So not only can you make it flexible on this side, you can also open up the entire back wall, which again, you'll be greeted with more greenery. Here where I'm standing, you can see this wonderful pergola, meaning this is yet another opportunity to use this space in a slightly different way. And then as we follow the stairs that we were looking at earlier, which can also be accessed from the family room. So you'll get to see that once we get to the top. The accessibility of this house is impeccable. Like, you never feel like you're too far away from anything. If you want to feel closer to the sun, if you want to get a view that's a bit higher, this would be the ideal area. So we want to create an area where you could also come out and sunbathe. So this would be the space for that. I want to sit out in the sun. I want to be just slightly higher, and I just want to relax. But sometimes you do want to get those views. You do want to be a bit closer to the sun, but you don't want to be hit by the sun directly. So this section, we're actually going to have our roofing on it, so you can still enjoy the views. But if you don't want to be under direct sunlight, I like that our lead designer has thought out every eventuality. And I love that that is the ultimate way to kind of describe what we do as a company. Like, it's crafting. That's the word of the year, you guys. It is crafting. We want you to have the ultimate experience in your home and feeling like this is the ultimate dream home. I think it is best if we go back in and continue with the tour. We're arriving on the first floor. We have plenty of light with these big glass windows. They are really, really hefty. We prioritize safety, so we've made sure that each glass panel that you're going to see throughout this house that you can actually interact with is going to be of the strongest quality. We see the slope of the stairs continuing all the way up, but we're going to take a closer look at this floor. You may notice that we have no tiles on the floor. We still have the elevator shaft over here. So let's get into the rooms. Let's start over on this side. I want you guys to pay keen attention. This is the point of doing this video. I want you guys to see how far we've come and just how little work we have left. We have the lights in to ensure that each and every corner of this house is well lit. We're now in the bedroom, and I'm so happy to see that the lights are working. When I talk about warm light, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The tones are so important. You can see how we've kept the gypsum very simple, but by adding those lights, we're really enhancing the craftsmanship and the excellence of the work that has been done. I'm assuming that this space is going to have something like a wardrobe or cabinetry, so that's why we installed those lights there. But even without all the lights, we have the big windows and plenty of light coming in. Now, as I'm stepping back and taking a closer look at the floor, it is neat, it is well done as always. The tone is very, very calming. It's a light beige color. We didn't want anything too busy for the bedrooms. But here in the bathrooms is where you can see we really flexed our muscle when it comes to excellent tile tile selection. We have so much dimension in this soft gray color that has very subtle veining, but we added that punch, that wow factor by breaking it up with a deeper gray tile with some gold veining running through it, so it kind of distinguishes the different spaces. But right now we have a lot of golden natural light, so this is going to be a really warm bathroom to shower in during the day. But I want you guys to really pay attention in the bathrooms, especially how we're really selecting these tiles carefully to ensure that we're giving this house a lot of character. So let's step outside and just take a look at the views of this particular bedroom. We've continued the tile from the inside to the outside. We have the glass railing all around with the stainless steel handrail where you can look out into the front yard and get a great view of the pillars in front of the house. We're gonna go to the secondary family room on this floor. It is a huge space. We've continued with a warm tile on the floor. We're just smoothing things out. So when I'm looking around at these walls, I can tell that we have already done all the filler. We've done the base coat, so we're just waiting for the final coat of paint. Something else I'm noticing, that we have some of our sockets in, some of our switches in, and the color is still playing into that gold, but I'm just at this point appreciating how everything is just seamless and smooth and bright through another set of huge glass doors out to see the view. Here you can see we have on top, the view is on top of the gazebo, and then all the greenery in the backyard, and you can even see the water feature right over there. We have the flowers. This is a great house because it has excellent views all around. So we're gonna go right across and we can take a look at 2 bedrooms. So as I'm walking across, I like to appreciate these huge openings because they do a lot in terms of introducing light into this hallway and into this entire floor, but also it's just a great opportunity to get a good view of the living room. So these 2 areas are really supporting each other. I am going to start with my right. We have these openings on the wall, which I've said time and time again is to allow as much natural light flow in here, but keeping an eye on the spotlights, you can see that the lighting will not be a problem at any point of the day. And this is actually the room where I got to see some of these tiles being installed. They're quite heavy, they're hefty, so I really appreciate that as we go from room to room, everything is consistent, that precision is excellently done, and we have perfection all throughout. But again, here we have a room that has a very simple gypsum design with just a little step of a feature, and then we have the recessed lighting all around, and I love the careful placement of the spotlights, just highlighting specific walls and specific areas for the different rooms. So let's take a look at the walk-in closet, and wow, I had not seen this. This was an empty space when I was last here, but it's good to see the type of colors and textures that we're going for. As always, we source hard-wearing materials. We want things that are going to last a lifetime for our clients, but we also want things that make sense aesthetically. So I love the fact that we're adding something that feels a bit more natural in that warm tone. This house seems like it's going to have a lot of warmth, but I'm also appreciating, as always, how we're customizing something that's going to have dynamic storage. Now let's take a look at the bathroom, and here again we have light colored tiles, but this time it's a warmer tone. You can see we're playing around with those beiges and browns, and the floor is a deeper, darker brown. So that bathroom feels like it was more of like a grayish tone. This one feels like it's playing into the beiges and browns, but the textures of the tile are also very, very evident. We want to make sure we have traction in the floor, so if you have water all over, you're not slipping. And all the bathrooms have nice big windows for ventilation and lighting. We have these recessed lights placed in specific areas to highlight potential storage areas, but also just for visibility. So let's continue on. We're gonna step outside yet again. Each and every room that we're going to, you get to see a different angle of this massive property. So over here is where we have the underground water tank, and we're gonna have 2 sculptures there of bulls. So this entire experience, you're always going to have something new from every angle. Each balcony that you're stepping onto. This room also has a view of the beautiful lawn and the flowers and the butterflies, and then you get a front face view of the gazebo where we have the pergola. So let us go back inside. We're now going to go right across into the other bedroom, following the beautiful beige tone tiles. And for this bedroom, the first space you encounter is the walk-in. We haven't started working on the cabinetry just yet. And for this bathroom, we have those same warm brown tones as the other bathroom. We have another lovely big window here looking out onto the stairs, providing light for this small corridor. We have yet another room. The dimensions of the bedrooms in this house are just chef's kiss. They're actually perfection. You could go bigger, but it doesn't feel necessary. There's plenty of space considering we already have a walk-in, so you could have some cabinetry in here if you wanted, and that's the beauty of customization. You get to choose your own experience. The gypsums are all very, very simple. Remember guys, this is not only like a modern design, it's supposed to be looking into the future, and as we're looking at the trends in interior design, things are getting sleeker. It's all about the quality and not creating designs that are really, really fussy. So that's why we're working with many simple, clean lines and just highlighting the craftsmanship. So we also have some spotlights, and we're working with recessed lights, and looks like we're gonna have a centerpiece right over here. Stepping out onto the balcony, continuing with the glass and the chrome finish handrail, we're looking out into the pillars. Again, I can see the water features right at the front of the house. So let's continue following the spiral of these stairs. I am wearing high heels today, so I think it is the perfect way to test out the heights of these each one of these steps, because when you're walking up a set of stairs with high heels, if there's even the slightest difference in the steps, you could easily trip, and you can see how easy that was for me to go up, which means we're ready for that next step to bring in those tiles as soon as possible. The lovely big windows continuing on, bringing light even onto this floor. We have the continuation of the swirl, and this is where it actually ends. I absolutely adore this view because it really highlights the swirl and twirl of this magnificent staircase. We also have the end of the elevator shaft, meaning, and this floor is where we're gonna get the master bedrooms. Another element that is bringing in tons of light on this floor is the use of skylights, and we find that it is ultra useful in just bringing in the most beautiful beams of light throughout a property. We're gonna continue. Before we enter into the master bedroom, which is on this side, let's take a look at other spaces that exist on this floor. We are in a bedroom continuing with the beautiful gypsum designs. We have the lights all around. It is so spectacular being up here and actually being able to see just how straight those lines are. Like the precision it's immaculate, it's so well done. We have a big space here. We're continuing with the theme of big warm tiles on the floor to just create something that doesn't feel too busy. Of course, this room will really shine when we bring in the furniture. And I think here we can start to see a sneak peek of what we're thinking in terms of the colors of the switches and the sockets. We have a really subtle brushed gold. It just adds a touch of luxury. I love the unique experience of having a narrower bathroom, where I always preach, go for brighter ties, you want it to feel bigger. But if you're working with a great designer, they can make a smaller space feel exciting, even if it's using a darker tile, without making it feel like it is overwhelming or if it's any smaller. The clever way that that has been done is by making sure that the deep coat that is being used is not solid. So you can see it is broken up with these sharp colors of like golden and brown, and then it is a very big dimension, and then it has a glossy finish, meaning no matter what light is getting in here, it's still getting dispersed. No, it's not as bright as it would be with a white tile, but it still makes this bathroom super, super exciting. If you've been noticing, all the bathrooms have this slight lip over the cistern with the lights. We also have a nice big window, plenty of light and ventilation. So as we go on, we are now gonna head over to the master bedroom. Here we're going through the door, we're going to follow the light. As always, we have this really straight line of recessed lighting that has led us directly into the home office area. We have the design detail on the wall, allowing light to penetrate through from the outside into the space, ensuring it's well lit. But you can see that this space also has its own windows we're getting light from all corners. We can see that the tiles are really calm and they're just ready for any exciting colors or textures that we might put in next. So we have a small little nook over there. We have the continuation of simple gypsum designs into this small lounge area, looking out onto the balcony. Again, it's more angled towards where we have the main gate, where we'll have our driveway and some of the greenery that will exist in this area. So going back inside, let's go into the main area of the master bedroom. You can see that all these sections kind of have an opening, so you know that you're transitioning from one space into the other, the continuation of the huge tiles into this huge master bedroom. We have that massive window with a little design detail. I remember when I was last here, we were still contemplating on how we're going to make the best use of that, but I'm very curious to see where our lead designer is going to land with that thought process. I'm looking up at the gypsum, appreciating how now we're kind of staggering the recessed lighting in a different way. We have the huge circular design in the center highlighted by that cove light. The simplicity is continuing. Those geometric shapes are just what this house needed. We do want to have a small lounge area and a kitchenette to ensure the comfort of our client at all times. Now we're going to step outside for a moment and take a look at what the king and queen of this manor will be experiencing each and every day, be it morning, evening, any time of day. But I like to imagine spaces like this on early morning before you go to work, and you just have a moment, step outside and realize that you're living in your dream home, and just thank God for all the years and all the hard work and all the time that you've been blessed with to be able to accomplish such a wonderful and beautiful feet. But you can also see that we want to have a pergola, so we're providing some sort of coverage if they ever want to spend an extended period of time out here with a couple of seats. We like that sense of flexibility. But while we're up here, we can get a closer look at the colors as well. The darker colors on this house, while you're standing outside, you can see really are used to create a dynamic design, but also just highlight some really beautiful facets of this particular structure. Let's go back inside and explore what has to be my favorite spaces in this entire house. I do love a walk-in closet just because of the magic that Fine Urban creates when it comes to customization, and I can see that it has already started. Here we have a showcase of the ideas that we're thinking of in terms of how we're going to be sectioning off the cabinetry, like what are we considering. We have our drawers, we have our hanging areas, folding areas. The bottom areas tend to be where you can easily store away your shoes, but this is just a great example of what to expect from this space. I remember talking to the lead designer, and he did mention that he wanted to create a boutique-like feel. Keep in mind, when we're designing people's dream homes, it's not only about creating that luxury experience, but it's finding creative ways. Now let's walk into the bathroom. I love the walk-in, but the bathroom takes the cake for me. I do not know where the lead designer found this tile, but it must have been in like a eureka moment, because it is so perfect. I cannot imagine this space with anything else, any other colors. That green is so rich. Those pops of gold also just add to that luxury, the glossiness, the dimensions. They really do play into making this space feel magnificent. I absolutely love it. And as always, I also have to admire the workmanship. The area where I'm standing, we're gonna have a big old tub right over there. That's why we have this niche wall. You can already tell that we are planning to have a light, so our client can set the ambiance and really have like a relaxing experience or a spa-like experience, again playing into that side of high-end luxury. But the pièce de résistance for this bathroom is that entire wall. The view is incredible, but the thing that's really going to bring it over the top is the design. So the idea here that has actually been crafted, because this of course did not exist, we're gonna have the two sinks here, his and hers as always. So you can see we have actually built out this entire countertop because we're trying to create things that are more permanent and more long wearing. So we're gonna have that. And then we're gonna have a huge glass panel here, of course, that will have the mirrors over the sinks. It is going to have a transparency feature, because a huge thing people were concerned about is this sense of privacy. So it is going to be a smart home, meaning that that wall, that glass, will have the option of either having it transparent or having it be completely opaque. But we're not done quite yet. You may notice very obvious gaps on either side. That is where we're going to create the display shelves, so we can also continue that sense of transparency out. So it really does feel like once you walk into this bathroom, that entire wall kind of just melts away and will just really blend into the environment. I cannot wait to see how that turns out. It is one of the most exciting ideas I've seen us implementing in 2024. And if you're not going to subscribe for anything else I've said, make sure that you subscribe so you can see the end result of this incredible bathroom. We have yet another lounge area. It's a more indoor-outdoor experience. We have more incredible views all around and each corner of this one. So this is going to be primarily a lounge area just for the master bedroom, meaning we're going to create a counter, we're going to have a bit of a bar section, a couple of seats, just so if the king and the queen of the manor want to have a session of relaxation in their own home, this would be a perfect place to come, kick back, and just relax. And you can see we are continuing with that beautiful wooden TNG here, and it's so impactful even at this stage. This has been the short and sweet catch-up tour of this humongous mega mansion here in Tatu City. Keep in mind, there's still so much more to come. This house is only getting better and better. Even discovering those little details that have been worked on since the last time I was here was super exciting for me. And we all know that when it comes to fine urban, you might think you know what's going to happen, but you're always going to be absolutely shocked to see the final result. So if you want to experience that shock and enjoyment with me, make sure that you are subscribed. So many different elements that are yet to be seen. So I hope you guys will be with me when I come back next time to show you even more of this beautiful house. Bye.